Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to shoot out a quick video. I've had a few questions text by other owners about keeper values moving forward. So I wanted to address those real quick. I don't want to put it on the text message just because a lot of it gets lost in the scrum and in the BS. So real quick, just want to get this up before I have to go to work. But for example, so now potentially we can keep 3 players moving forward. Obviously redraft in 2020, but this may affect some trades going forward just because I want to clarify. So for example, let's say if I keep Le'Veon Bell and let's say I trade for Ezekiel Elliott and Odell Beckham Jr. or AJ Green, for example. Where those players are drafted depends on their round. Obviously, all 3 of them, Le'Veon, Odell, and Zeke, were all first rounders. So whoever is first in that round is kept in the first. So it'd be Odell, Zeke in the second, and then Le'Veon in the third. Now, for example, let's say after the draft of next year, an owner says, hey man, I want Zeke. If I trade him to that team, because Zeke was a second round pick by default, because you can't keep multiple first rounders, he would go to that team as a first round keeper, not a second round keeper, because he was not picked in the second round. He's by default placed in the second round because you cannot keep multiple first rounders. Obviously in the first round, you only have 1 pick. So that's really the clarification I wanted to get, is if you keep multiple players from the same round, whoever's drafted soonest in that round is originally kept as that 3rd round value. So for example, if I had like DeAndre Hopkins and I don't even know who another 3rd round pick was, Joe Mixon, for example. Joe Mixon was picked before DeAndre Hopkins. So if I were to keep, let's say I trade for Joe Mixon and I keep both of them. Hopkins is a 4th round pick for me next year. Joe Mixon would be a 3rd. If I trade Joe Mixon to someone, he's their 3rd round keeper. If I trade DeAndre Hopkins to someone else, he's their 3rd round keeper. Now, obviously, if that team has the same multiple picks in that same round, then it goes by where that player was drafted. So I just wanted to make sure that, people weren't thinking that, well, if I keep 3 first-round picks, then Le'Veon's a 3rd round pick, or, let's say Ezekiel Elliott, hey, 2nd round keeper, for 2 more years as a 2nd rounder. That's not the way it's going to work. He's where they were originally drafted. If he goes to a team that doesn't have a 1st round pick or a 1st round keeper, then Ezekiel Elliott is a 1st round keeper because that's where he was drafted originally. So just because you have multiple keepers doesn't affect their draft value in terms of other teams. Now, obviously, if I keep those same 3 players moving forward, they stay in that order, Odell, Zeke, Bell, because I can't put them anywhere else. So I just wanted to clarify, guys. Obviously, I'm sure there's going to be questions. I'm going to post the video on the league page, like I said, and then conversation is going to be there. If you have questions, let me know. Thanks.